Hey everyone, we're wrapping up Sprint 3 in our work cycle, and for Comet, that's Sprint 39, Daylight Sprint 11, and Lark Sprint 14. We're excited to share some good developments with you, and to lead us off with that, we'll hand this off to Elisa to talk about Daylight.
My name's Elisa Pierce, and I'm going to talk about our progress with Daylight this sprint. I'm going to share my screen here. And what you'll see is one of our demo pages. In this demo page, we have a series of components building out an entire page. The fun part that we got working this sprint is now we have some interactivity between our components. So I can do a search. And this search will come back with the matching results. I have currently 11 test items that I'm working with. I can also define a format and just bring back a list that have the matching term and drop-down field, in that case, format. The other thing that I have baked in is some functionality that both campuses have in their digital collections. If you add nothing, it'll give you everything that's available. And so this is the full list. And here you'll see some of that interactivity between different components. When I click next, it goes to that final 11th item. And if I hit previous, I'm headed back to the beginning. So this is very exciting because these are all of our components are encapsulated little chunks of code. So they're almost like their own little websites. And so to have this interactivity between them was really fun to create. Some of the other things too that we did this sprint are we helped with some CI cleanup, getting rid of some of the extra deployments that were for components that we are no longer using that we used in our original testing of this concept. And then we also had an onboarding. So we have another member to the Daylight team, Chris Lopez, and so we went through some onboarding with them. And then finally, I'll just quickly show you because there's just so much that David did for us. David Trujillo um, wrote wrote out some of the basic data points that would be a place to start with our API. And so we also have that documentation built out this sprint. But very exciting stuff because I'm really happy to see these components talking to each other. And I was also really happy to hear yesterday from Chris Lopez that when he was going through the onboarding, that he also found it real nice and straightforward to get onboarded onto this framework. So I'm very pleased. And that's everything for Daylight.
Thanks so much, Elisa. That's amazing work that Daylight team's done. I think one notable thing that we want to call out is just how much has actually moved forward. So we have a bunch more in the component development, but we also have, like, on the API side, we've laid some really good groundwork for in the upcoming sprint. So that's going to be very exciting. And bringing Chris on board has been fantastic in a number of ways. So really, really happy he's with us. All right, I think if that's it for Daylight, maybe we can have Margaret talk a little bit about Lark.
Yeah, Lark development has moved on slowly and steadily, I think, over the past sprint. We're currently now deploying successfully without any errors into, I believe, both staging and production. I don't have anything to demo for you with respect to that because there's still no data, but getting that data in will be the goal of this next sprint. So hopefully by the time we get to the next demo, there will at least be some seed data in there that I can pull up and show. But that's it for me for Lark, I think. We're just moving along there.
Thanks, Margaret. I think I'm going to try and wrap up and deliver a Comet summary here. We've done a bunch of work really rethinking our environment configuration and making progress on separating our content from feature QA. And I think a lot of those conversations that we had last sprint yielded some really good ones this sprint, and we are actually starting to move some of those things forward. Also, things like manual review builds and sort of how that's going to work. That's a lot of those conversations are going to be really critical for saying, what does that full life cycle look like as we're testing a feature, looking at content, and they have implications, I think, for just the sustainability of the whole project. So it was really awesome, and major shout out to the team for even sorting out like what seed data should we have, like what data do we want in there to be able to play with and validate these things. So a lot of really good stuff there. Well, numerous fixes too. Um, some really good proactive stuff for resource deletion, and some fail safes that we're building in there, some fixes for editing file sets, and I think completing some of our UX and display enhancements for like importer status for create and validate, stuff like that. And a huge shout out to Matt and Alex for sorting out some very complicated uh, registry issues in CI, and so for unblocking the rest of the team there for a lot of that stuff there. So thank you so much. I think absent Gabriella and David to be able to give us some more details on those, we're going to call that our sprint demo for today. And that's it. We'll see you next time.